All right. There you go. Episode 2. It's a great day, sports world. What's up to all the sports lovers, the haters, the addicts, and the fanatics? This is Larry Patterson for GT365. That's Game Time 365 Sports. Right here on the GTSN. That's the Game Time Sports Network. Here, episode 2. We got episode 1 out the way. We here. We back. Episode 2. Within the same week. Got my man, famous Amos, Amon Washington, Raider fanatic, Sacramento King fanatic, New York Yankee fanatic. Man, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I was doing great, man, until you said Sacramento King fanatic, man. Man, we lost Fox, man. He playing with Wemby in San Antonio. Man, things ain't been the same since that Western Conference Finals in '03, man. So we just gonna leave it at that.
Been a while since you've been there, man. Been a while,
Yes,
but
sir.
man, we got more draft talk that we talking today. We're even talking about um, George Pickens potentially. Is he will he be in a Steeler uniform come week 1? We know uh, that he, you know, Steelers got DK Metcalf. They traded for DK Metcalf, and what do you think? Do you think that DK and George will be on the same team come week 1? Both of them pretty much play the same. The X. Me personally, I don't really see it. I figure maybe it'd be a draft day trade potentially, maybe before the season hits. I think somebody will buy in. Whoever is willing to take on that. I know he's got some issues. As far as running the mouth. Doing all crazy things. What do you think?
Um, will he be on the roster day one? If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say it's about 75% that he will. Um, Only reason I say that, Mike Tomlin, he has a knack for developing receivers, and this George Pickens is a talent, um, a crazy talent. But the proof is that they develop receivers, and coming out of Georgia, that pipeline, they have talent all over the field. So to help potentially Aaron Rodgers come in the fold here, you'll want to equip Rodgers with all the weapons as possible. Now, if somebody gives an offer to Pittsburgh, they can't refuse. Maybe give up a two. Um, Draft night, I can see that happening. Him being on the move, but as of right now, paying him with DK in the AFC North, that'll put fear in the AFC North for sure. So I say about 75%.
Gotta have that quarterback to throw it to him. What's taking Aaron Rodgers so long?
Man, Aaron Rodgers. He Hollywood. He gonna do things on his way or no way. Man, we thought we might have got some a couple nights ago at Pat McAfee's event. He'd be on the show every week, so we thought he might have announced that he was gonna be signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but nothing ever happened. So who knows with Rodgers? He might you know hijack draft night, and right before the draft come on 8 o'clock, he might say, "Hey, I'm signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers," and that'll be the talk of the night. So I think he's playing a waiting game. He's earned it. He's deserved it. He's first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP. He has the right to pick and choose. And when he's ready to say, "Hey, I'm ready to play ball and I'm ready to give a commitment to a certain organization," he'll come through.
Yeah, speaking of George Pickens, 3 years in the league, 2022, he had 801 yards, 4 touchdowns, 52 catches. 2023, it was a career year for him, 63 receptions, 1,140 yards, 5 touchdowns. In his past year, 900 yards. He played 12. He played 14 games. He started 12, and he had for the last 2 seasons over 100 targets. So I think he may be on the team. Who knows? But I like what you said with them with as far as him and DK being paired up. I mean, it's something that it's rarely seen, with
Yeah,
two receivers of that kind of caliber. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Pittsburgh decides if they want to go with Aaron Rodgers or not. If Aaron Rodgers want to go there or not, we'll
yeah,
see what
yes,
happens.
yeah. So another thing with the Pickens thing, well, I say 75%. Man, you like you said, both of them are X's, DK and Pickens. They're both alphas. So you're having two alphas in the wide receiver room. It's that wide receiver coach. Hey, man, you gotta who want the ball on Sunday in crunch time. Pickett's not gonna shy away from it. He's showing you that the last three seasons in the league. DK's DK. He's produced with Geno. You know what I'm saying? He's a Raider now. He's a mid tier quarterback, but he's put up good Pro Bowl numbers with Geno. So that's going to be interesting for sure. And then last year they drafted Roman Wilson out of Michigan in the third round, and he was quiet last year. I don't think he maybe played maybe one or two games. Maybe he's with healthy scratches, so maybe he's just developing. So he's a slot guy that they can potentially have out there with those guys, and can take some of the catches away from Pickens or DK. So me being a Michigan guy, I know Roman Wilson a little bit. He can ball, and then also you got Pat Frymuth over the middle as well. He ain't no slouch. So it's gonna
Facts.
be targets to go around for everybody, and it's just if DK and Pickens, how are they gonna feel about the ball being spread around, especially if you got number 12 coming in there to run your offense this year.
Other role players that they have as far as receivers, they got Calvin Austin, who's speedy, using in special teams as well. They got Brandon Johnson, who's a vet. Lance McCutcheon, Scotty Miller, who's also a proven
Bucks
vet.
legend.
Yeah, a champion. Ben Skoranek. Is Was he a champion with the Rams?
Who was that?
Ben Skoranek.
Yes, he was on that Super Bowl team. Yes, he
Okay, so
was.
you got Ben Skoranek and then Roman Wilson, also in the tight end department because they do catch passes too. Pat Frymuth, as you said, Connor Hayward, Donald Parham, and then Darnell Washington, who I feel like they should use more in the pass game. But I mean, when you got a guy like Pat Frymuth, hey, Darnell's just basically that extra offensive lineman.
Exactly. He built
So
like 166,
Oh
big boy.
yes, he's a big boy, man. What is it? He's 6'7". This guy
Yeah,
listed 6'7", 264.
yeah.
So so we'll see what happens with the Steelers and what they would do. The next topic we got, um, Washington Commanders and the Cincinnati Bengals and their draft strategy. Now, as I'm looking at Washington's draft picks, they have five. They currently have five draft picks. The 29th in the first round. Washington picking in the back end in the first round, like that's unheard of since like the early 90s, right?
Right, right, right.
So it feels good. I mean, it's good for Commanders fans, and I mean it's a good feeling for them to be picking late in the first round. They got the 61st pick in the second round. They got Houston's fourth round pick, who's pick 128. They got pick 205. That's in the sixth round, and the seventh round pick 245. Um, what do you think Washington does with that 29th pick?
With the 29th pick, man, they can go in so many directions, man. But they made the trade for Larry Tunsil, shockingly, to help Jaden Daniels, this year. Take that extra leap. They traded for Debo. So with the 29th pick, you can go so many ways. You can, hey, a team want to call up for, you know, a Milrow or a Tyler Shuck or a whoever the quarterbacks, the second round quarterbacks say. You can move back, recoup some of that capital that you had to give up for the Larry Tunsil trade. You can That's one avenue. You can potentially get you another wide receiver. Yeah, I know Debo came over, via trade, but we all know Debo ain't the Debo he was back in 2019, 2020. That are all pro Debo. You can, get some more weapons. Get you another tight end. Hey, do you look at a Mason Taylor at the back end of the first round? Zach Ertz, he's getting up there. He's 34, 35. He only signed a 1 year deal. So hey, do get you a young Mason Taylor or Elijah Arroyo at the back of the first round to go ahead and help Jaden Daniels for sure. Another thing you can do is you can help Jaden Daniels with pass rush. You can get a James Pierce. You can go get you a Nick Scorton in the second round. I mean, in the back end of the first round. But there's a couple options that the Commanders can do at this moment with the 29th pick. I think you said.
Yeah, the 29th pick, man. My bad, man. Technical difficulties over here.
All
But yeah,
good.
they got the 29th pick. Um, whenever you cut out, I didn't hear what you said. So can you repeat that again?
Oh yeah, my bad, brother. I said, I don't know if you heard me when I said they can go get you a pass rusher. You can go get James Pierce at the back of the first round. Get you a Nick Scorton at the back of the first round. Get you a Shamar Stewart if he's there. Because right now with Shamar Stewart, you're betting on traits. It's all traits with him. He has no sack production in college, but if you hit, you got you a bona fide pass rusher for the next 8, 9, 10 years. So those some of the options at the back end of the first round for the Commanders.
What about a pass rusher like Mike Green?
I don't Mike Green's. I don't think he'll be there for them.
So
I think
you think
I think he'll be gone by. He'll definitely be gone by Carolina at 8. That's just me. How high I am on Mike Green. I think
okay?
Carolina at 8 would be his ceiling. His floor will probably be 15 at Atlanta if they decide to stay there.
Okay. You have other defensive ends like Alfred Collins from Texas and Michael Williams from Georgia. Michael Williams probably won't be there, but like you said, James Pierce, he seems like a good option right there. One thing about the Commanders that for the last couple years, and I'm trying to pull it up. Of course, it's not here right now. But for the last 2 years, within the early rounds, they've selected cornerbacks. They had selected Emmanuel Forbes, and we know how that went in the first round in 2023 at pick 16. And then they picked Quan Martin in the second round at pick number 47. Quan Martin, he's all right. He's all right
Yep.
guy. And then last season they picked Mike Sainristil out of Michigan. You know him pretty well.
Hmm.
Pick number 50. Is there a chance within the two top picks that they do have at 29 and 61 that they could be going cornerback? Because if you look at that roster, if you look at that cornerback room, Marshawn Lattimore, who is not the same Marshawn Lattimore. And I thought when they picked him up in the trade last year that he was going to be, a key piece, but he really wasn't. And then, with Mike saying was still after that, you got Bobby Price and Noah. I'm not even trying to
Igbenogany.
disrespect you. Thank you. I was not trying to disrespect his name. But there's only there's only 4 cornerbacks on the roster right now. And you need depth when you playing in a NFC East with a AJ Brown and a Devontae Smith and now a Malik Neighbors coming to the fold. Pass for what he received for over 1,100 yards. I think cornerback has got to be one of those positions they have to address.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see cornerback being an issue for them or a spot that they can address. Like you said, you got some guys at the back end of the first round. You got an Azariah Thomas. My favorite corner besides Travis Hunter is Jade Barron, but I think he won't be there when they pick it at 29.
I
You
hope
got
he
Will
goes.
Johnson. What was that?
I hope he go 20.
Yeah, he might go 20, but I wouldn't want to see that. That would be a nightmare for me. But like you said, you got Will Johnson. He won't be there. So I mean, there's a couple corners that Siobhan Rubble from East Carolina coming off of ACL. He could be a potential corner for them at 29. So I definitely see the cornerback room for the Commanders getting a boost. Like you said, previously Marshawn Lattimore, and he wasn't what consensus thought he would be when he came over from New Orleans last year. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's had some good, good years, but it seemed like he's nicked up and injured, you know, here recently. So I can see them definitely pushing for some, corner depth. Noah Igbenogany coming from Miami. He was a first round pick for them a couple years ago. He's depth piece. Mikey Sanders still coming in as a rookie last year. He definitely helped that secondary out a whole lot. And Jatavius Martin, he's young, 25 years old. So there's some problems there, but I can definitely see making the cornerback room, excuse me, a lot stronger than what it is and going into 2025.
And at the linebacker spot, they have Frankie Louvu and they have Dominique Hampton. At the middle linebacker spot, they got Bobby Wagner, who is, let's just face it. I mean, he's still playing at a high level,
Yep.
but he's aging. And behind him, you got Nick Ballore, you got Jordan McGee. Uh, with guys like with Jalen Walker, he'll be gone. Jahad Campbell could be a potential candidate there, as well as a Demetrius Knight. You know,
Yeah, I can definitely see Jahad Campbell being an option at 29. Even though reports came out that he had a little shoulder surgery. To my knowledge. So how it is. Linebackers and these injuries before pre-draft, they might take you down the board a little bit. But hey, man, Jahad Campbell falls to you at 29. Hey, if I'm Adam Peters, I'm running that card up so fast. It's not even gonna be funny. I'm running that card up fast. So absolutely, like Bobby Wagner, he's first ballot Hall of Fame, All Pro. He's gonna get his flowers in Canton one day. That's definitely coming. But like you said, man, you have to win now and build for the future. So Jahad Campbell will be an excellent pick. Demetrius Knight, sleeper guy. He won't be. He's a top 50 pick in my opinion. So if you don't grab him in the first round, you better grab him at middle second. Go up and get him because he won't be there after pick 50 in my opinion.
definitely, and they need that young, you know, toughness on that defense anyway. Especially by them going to the NFC Championship game, you need to keep the foot on the gas pedal. As running back. I feel like running back, if going later in the rounds, with a running back class so deep, I feel like they, Brian Robinson is playing at a high level, of course. Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols, neither one of those guys are going to keep me from drafting a running back in, like, say, the fourth or the sixth. And maybe they'll decide to move back, trade some of those picks to accumulate more picks. Um, what do you think about that?
Oh, most definitely, man. Like you said, Brian Robinson. He's been their bell cow for the last couple of years. And in this league that we love so much now, you need more than one running back. You need a change of pace back. And they had Austin Eckler and Jeremy McNichols last season. We know Eckler, he you know not what he was 2 3 years ago when he was with the Bolts. We just gonna say that when he was with them, he was a killer in the AFC West. But he's not what he was no more. So I could definitely see them getting a change of pace back in the fourth round. Maybe a Devin Neal or your boy Giddens from Kansas State. I can definitely see that. And like you say, you want this youth movement, but you want to get the most out of his football team while Jaden Daniels on his rookie contract because when that balloon payment coming,
Oh yes.
it's coming.
Oh, yes.
So
Oh, yes.
our next team that we're going to talk about here in a few seconds, they're in a situation right now where they didn't capture that rookie window, and they're paying for it by people on their roster asking for trades and stuff like that. So,
Speaking of that team, I got concerns.
ooh,
So I know we talked about T Higgins contract, and basically it's what, like, a 2 year?
yeah, I think it's like a one
Was it
year.
1 year or 2 year?
They can get out after next year with like clauses and stuff like that. But with the funny language, they can get out next year if they want to.
Okay. Why don't you just trade the guy? To get you some picks, and you're sitting here with 6 picks, and you need to load up on defense. Because let's face it, that side of the ball kept them from getting into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
especially with Joe Burrow playing. Yeah, Joe Burrow playing at a high level. I mean, the defense. Let's just call it what it is. I feel like with each pick that they have, the six picks, I feel like if each one of those were defense, I wouldn't be mad at them.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be, it's what you said. It should be defense. You know what I mean? Because like you got a red Ferrari on the off. You got Burrow, Higgins, you got Chase Brown, you got Gesicki in the middle of the field. You got your Ferrari. And now you need to support that Ferrari and make sure those tires don't go bad on you. Get you some defense, man. Like I said, there's they any position on the defensive side of the ball. Whenever they pick at 18 or whatever they pick at in the first round, I think it's 18. I want to say. Um, they need to go
17.
defense. 17, excuse me. Um, they need to go defense. They can go defensive line. They can go Kenneth Grant. They can go Walter Nolan. They can go cornerback. They can go Will Johnson. They can go, you know, whatever. You can go safety. You can go Malachi Starks if you want to. You can go pass rush. Michael Williams. That could be a Michael Williams spot. You know what I'm saying? But we
Absolutely.
know, me and you talking, a few weeks ago about the Bengals draft history. It's not the greatest. Everybody they got some solid players. So they got Dax Hill a couple years ago in the second round. They thought he would be the Jesse Bates replacement, and it hasn't worked out for them. Um, so I mean, it all depends on who's drafting and who's developing these defensive players. Who that's going to be the key for sure.
Yeah, you said Dax Hill. That was in 2022, right?
Ooh, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So I got the from 2023 draft class. I mean, not to say that they haven't took swings at it, because I mean they've selected Miles Murphy with the 28th pick out of Clemson in 2023, and then DJ Turner, the cornerback at in the second round, Jordan Battle in the third round. So and DJ Ivy in the seventh round. But I mean, it's not like they have took swings.
Right.
Last year, Chris Jenkins in the second round, McKinley Jackson in the third round. So I mean, I feel like yeah, they're gonna have to get a little younger and have some more fear, some more juice come on their defense, especially for a team now. I forgot what they was ranked, but some of those candidates that you listed earlier, whether it's the corners or linebackers, like they seem like they need it all. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like,
it,
go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like you said, Miles Murphy. He was 5-star recruit coming out of Clemson. Yeah, brother. I mean, this a grown man game. There, man. I had hopes for Miles Murphy when he came out. I thought he was gonna be a decent pass rusher, opposite of Trey Hendrickson and from now newly retired Sam Hubbard. Man, it just never developed. Man, like none of these players that you've named that they drafted in the last past couple of years is going to stop me from drafting somebody that could be help me this year, because obviously you see it's not working. I know it was year one, year two with these, rookie and sophomores, slumps or whatever. But nobody's Cam Taylor Britt. You're not gonna stop me from drafting Will Johnson in the first round. Chris Jenkins. You're not gonna stop me from drafting Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant, Miles Murphy. You're not gonna stop me from
Thanks.
drafting Michael Williams. We can Jermaine Pratt and the Logan Wilson's a baller now. He's a baller. But if a Jahad Campbell
Yeah, yeah.
there at 18, Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson not gonna stop me from drafting Jahad Campbell at 18. Malachi Stark's not gonna stop me from drafting whoever their safeties are right now. So you have to you, defense is their priority this year. It should be their priority this year. And also keeping Joe Burrow upright as well, low key, because I don't know who their tackles are right now. Um, but yeah, I mean, he gets hit. He's injury prone. He's one shot away from he's their season. So it's all about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T Higgins. So the way to extend playoff runs and go deep and get back to the Super Bowl versus like you did versus the Rams in 2021, it's to put a competent defense on the field, and you got to start at the draft.
At left tackle, they got Orlando Brown Jr.
Zeus,
and
I know it's Zeus.
Amarius Mims at the right tackle spot, who they drafted last year.
Yep, big boy.
I believe, yeah. So, I mean, you could flirt with a tackle there as well, or especially maybe somebody in the interior offensive line. You got Cordell Boston, you got Cody Ford, and Ted Karras at the center spot. So the thing that you touched on earlier about defense, and speaking of the defense, with Cam Sample is their starting left edge right now. Trey Hendrickson is still listed on the team, but even though he's requesting a trade. So we'll see what happens with that. But you would think that they go ahead and Amon is gone right now. He'll be back in a second. Hopefully. Oh, is he there? He's not there yet. But with Trey Hendricks, Trey Hendrickson should have been a top priority. I mean, you're taking care of Jamar Chase, yes. Uh, you need you took care of T Higgins to a degree, but there
Hey,
he is.
brother. Yeah, I'm back.
You took care of. I'm just finishing up what I was saying. You took care of T Higgins and Jamar Chase. I mean, Trey Hendrickson should have been taken care of a long time ago,
Yep.
and by him being the a league leader in sacks. I understand the caution of doing that, but at the same time, like, bro, you who do you have rushing the passer right now?
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, it's
Trey
tough.
Hendrickson should have been got the bag, bro.
He should have he should have got paid before. I know you got to take care of Jamar. I know you got to take care of Jamar, but I just feel like this man was leading the league in sacks last year with 17. So I mean, how can you not justify giving that man his bag? Now, will he get will he get Miles Garrett, Max Crosby, Michael Parsons money? No, he won't. I mean, but you could have slid a man like right underneath there, 33 million dollars. And I ain't trying to count the man pockets, but he probably would have been happy with that, just showing some compensation because I don't know what he's making right now. But obviously ain't enough. He going on Pat McAfee doing interviews saying he ain't happy, saying he's had communications with the organization and the agent ain't liking what they saying, man. But you got the one bright spot, well, two bright spots, Logan Wilson, and one bright spot with Trey Henderson. You got to take care of him, bro. You have to just take care of your guy. You got to make it happen. And that's another candidate that I can see on draft night being moved. We talked about Pickens in the second segment. Um, well, first segment, sorry. He's another potential trade candidate. Somebody might want to Commanders, maybe. They got the money to do it. I mean, you know, give him that bag, go, chase after Dak and Jalen and everybody else in the NFC. So I mean, who knows? He will get paid this offseason. I don't know if it'll be by the Bengals. I hope, hopefully, it will be, but somebody's going to compensate him very well this offseason.
And second in the league in sacks last year. I think he was tied for second in the league in sacks last year, and he was a league leader in sacks this year. I think depending on how much money Detroit has, they could be a candidate. Aiden
Ooh,
Hutchinson on one side, and then Trey Hendrickson on the other side, and Cincinnati's not trading him to the AFC. So I think that could be something that we'll look at and pay attention to down the line.
absolutely.
All my banners are gone. Here it is. So you want to go into the win totals?
Man, let's do it, man. It's a little depressing right now for your boy in the win totals, man. But let's go ahead and get it done, man.
All right. So let me hide. There we go. And NFL team win total predictions that just dropped. I want to say earlier in the week. Um, so the win totals is what Vegas is projecting that each team and their win totals will be for the upcoming season. Doesn't mean that it will be, but just a strong prediction. And starting, you want to start lowest to highest or highest to lowest?
Man, let's go ahead and start lowest of highs. Get us out the way. Get me on my feelings right now. Let's go ahead, man. Just get it out the way.
All right. So, well, actually, sitting at 4.5 wins, you got the Cleveland Browns. Do you see the Cleveland Browns going to 4.5 wins?
Man, with that roster, man, it's hard to see them just winning 4 games, man, because things can change between now and getting them OTAs, man. They could bypass quarterback, sign Kirk Cousins. He can be with Stefanski. Kirk ain't the greatest now, but he more than 4 wins. He can give you 7. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little low for me, but I also can see 4 wins if they take a rookie quarterback and have to play him immediately. There are going to be some
Hmm.
growing pains with whether it's Shador or Dart or whoever the case may be. It all depends on the quarterbacks. I see they signed Flacco back, so that's a little security for you. But Flacco at this stage, I mean, what do you really get? He's in the room for leadership and teaching. So I can see 4 wins, depending on the circumstances. Rookie quarterback, Kirk Cousins come in. I can see 6, 7 wins. So yeah, I'm gonna stick at those two scenarios: quarterback 4 wins, vet 7 wins.
Okay. I feel it. In a roster room with let me go to their they got Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett.
Oh,
And I think we was talking about that the other day about another team and another draft pick like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett going into the season as your starting quarterbacks. That's not that's not doing anything for the franchise and for the fans. So I think with I don't know where they go, and I know we're going off a little topic here, but I don't know where they'll go. They're another team that can pretty much go anywhere they want. Um, they can go the rookie route. They can either trade for Kirk Cousins if Atlanta's willing to let him go. So I mean, I don't know, but like you said, if they do that veteran quarterback like a Kirk Cousins in there, not Joe Flacco, uh, I'm looking at maybe about 5, 6 wins, 7 wins, but with a rookie, yeah, about 4, maybe 3. So
mm-hmm.
I'll go with that. 5 wins. The 5.5 win teams are listed: the Titans, the Jets, the Saints, the Giants, and the Raiders. Do let's start with the Raiders.
Go ahead,
Do you see the Raiders going over or under 5.5 wins this year?
man. We going over 5.5, bro. Let's just cut the nonsense out, man. We going over 5. I'm gonna say about 12. Now let me be realistic here. Let me be realistic. So I'll say, it is not me being a homer, just as me knowing my roster and know what we still got holes and who we dealing with in the AFC West and Lord knows the AFC in general. And like I tell you on the phone, man, if you got that guy, you got a chance. Do we have that guy? No, but do we have somebody that can keep the ship in the water? Yes. Um, so I say maybe 6, 7 wins is realistic. Like you said, our division, we play each other tough every Sunday. I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? We always play
Facts.
each other play each other tough, and you know what I'm saying. You get lucky and get the ball rolled this way or that way one other Sunday. So I can see 7 wins, but like you said, we got a quarterback. We don't have our Superman like the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Ravens. Those the Tua for to a lesser degree. We don't have that guy, so it's gonna be tough for us to compete. In that division. Yet alone the whole AFC. So I say about 6 wins, 6, 7 wins, will be respectable. Um, no more than that though.
Gino was a Pro Bowler was he a Pro Bowler the year before last, right?
He was a Pro Bowler his second year under Pete Carroll, so I won't say it was 2023. The year they won the playoffs, went to the playoffs and they won like 10 games.
Yeah,
They won 10 games last year, I believe, but I think they
been
had
in
like another couple of seasons where he was a Pro Bowl and won like 10 games, 9, 10 games. So yeah, he can get you to 10, but I mean, the 10 in the NFC ain't the same as 10 in the AFC. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But you got superhumans over here with us, and no disrespect to the NFC quarterbacks, they just ain't their worst quarterback. Their best quarterback is ain't can't even see Herbert probably. So I mean, I don't know.
uh, well, at 5.5 wins, I'm gonna say the Raiders over because of what y'all have and what y'all capable of going down the stretch. This is pre-draft that we're talking about,
100%.
uh, ladies and gentlemen. So I think with the way that their roster is constructed now, like, are the pieces all together? No, but grabbing that quarterback who's a veteran and has won in this league, you put him in that position to bring on whoever else coming up to be that stopgap guy for him. I think Gino is the perfect candidate, and plus with a Pete Carroll, a coach that he's been under for quite some time, and that they've been talking all throughout the whole process of him being the starting quarterback last year. Gino giving, Pete giving him Gino pointers and always in his ear. Like, I think you that kind of quarterback coach relationship is what makes teams good. You know,
100
like that
100%.
can that can that can brew something right there. So I'm gonna say at 5.5 wins for the Raiders. I'm gonna say it's over for the Saints. Uh, that's a tough one because Derek Carr just when the notification came to my phone, like he could be in jeopardy of his 2025 season could be in jeopardy due to his shoulder. What do you think about the Saints? 5.5 wins.
You said 4.5,
Five.
5. I'll take a. I like the 5. The,
You
the
like the
5.
five?
Yeah, I like the 5. And the reason why I say the 5 is because we know that roster is not ready to compete right now. You pretty much with these Saints contracts and Mickey Loomis, they always kick the can down the road instead of ripping the band-aid off and they say, hey, admit we're in a rebuild. You know what I mean? Until you admit you in a rebuild, you're not going to be in a rebuild. And then, like I said, they had Spencer Rattler that started as a rookie last year. I mean, I don't know how many wins they had last year, but they won no more than what, 5, 6. And
Mhm.
do you trust Spencer Rattler to be your long term solution? Absolutely not. Kellen Moore coming over from Philly, he's gonna want his guy. It's probably gonna be a rookie. Um, you got quarterbacks a whole running, Kamara, he's still Kamara. You got Olave with the injuries, concussions. How much can you count on Olave to be there every Sunday, down in and down out? Lattimore, he's in DC right now. Kool-Aid McKinstry's your top corner. He was a second round pick last year. Are you gonna, trust the defense? Cam Jordan, he's up there in age. He's what, 34, 35 now, still producing, baller, certified baller in my book. You
Demario
got
Davis is there as well.
exactly. You got Brian Brzee. He's there in the middle, and you got tackles along the offensive line. Trevor Penning and Talise Fuaga. They're young. You know what I mean. So it's a young core. Like the whole NFC South is young. Besides the Bucks, they're probably the elder statesmen in the division. But I can see 5 wins. They can scratch. They can scratch 5 wins, in my opinion.
I'm gonna say as of right now, I'm gonna say below 5 until they get the quarterback situation straight. And there has been projections of Shador going to New Orleans. I think that would be a good spot for him. I mean, he's playing in the dome. You know, no cold weather. Unless they go on the road. So I think that'll actually be a good spot for him. But as for right now, I'm gonna say under 5.5 for the Saints. It's just not well constructed.
Right.
The Giants.
whatever they projected, two, two, man. Man, I'm gonna say two. No, I'm gonna be realistic. I'm gonna say about 3 or 4 wins. I ain't gonna be disrespectful, man. They're professionals, man. I ain't gonna be disrespectful. But I would say about 2 or 3 wins, man, because everybody's. I feel like in 2026 there's gonna be a new regime there anyway. Dayball's probably be gone. Joe Shane's probably gonna be gone. Um, no foundation at quarterback. Just pre-draft. What I'm saying April 24th. That might change some stuff. But I'm gonna say 2.5, 3 wins at the max, four, off the strength of Dayball being a good offensive coach. I mean, he got number one out there. That's a bad boy. But is that enough? Tyler Johnson playing tight end. So, like I said, that just like the Raiders, just like the Saints, got a whole lot of roster turnover to get done. So it's a whole lot of business that need to be taken care of. With the Giants. So I say about 2 or 3 wins, and give the Giants fans something to hope for in 2026. I know they're gonna. If they definitely don't take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds here this year, they're definitely going. You're going to hear them Arch Manning chants come 2026 if he decides to come out. So.
I think really ultimately that's where they want to go anyway. But if I feel bad for Brian Dayball, if that whole thing gets screwed up, I'll feel bad for him because, like you said, he is a great offensive coach. Uh, who everybody would want gone, Joe Shane, uh, should have been out the door last year. Especially, he should have been out the door this past year. Especially you seeing your running back going to the Super Bowl and having an awesome playoff, and then going into the Super Bowl and then winning one. Like, it's got to do something to you. And I feel bad for Brian Daboll because in his first season there, he got that team back to the playoffs
With Daniel Jones.
with Daniel Jones, and like their quarterback situation now is Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, and Tommy DeVito.
Mm.
If any of those guys that I'm picking Jameis Winston, even though I know he's going to be throwing 40 interceptions potentially, but he going to toss at least about a good 30 something touchdowns.
Oh, for sure. He gonna have his own 30 for 30 show on ESPN because he gonna give them to you, boy. Hey, listen, he gonna throw 30. He gonna get picked off 30 times, man. But I agree with everything that you said with the Giants. Back to the Joe Shane thing. I know we rambling on about the Giants, but you got your owner John Mayer. They was in Hard Knocks, man. It's like he said he ain't gonna be able to sleep at night if Saquon go to somewhere in the NFC East. And the add salt to the wound. They was tripping over a couple $1 million, and then he go out and go crazy in Philly, win the Super Bowl, and then on top of that, Howie gives him some more money on top of that. And it's like, yes, I understand what Shane was thinking, but the fans, the pressure on you, man. It's like, okay, why couldn't you do that? The New York fans like, why couldn't you do that? Give that to Saquon. Why, when he was in our building, he said he wanted to be a Giant for life. So why couldn't you pull that trigger? And I know, GM's jobs are not tough, bro, because you got to answer to your owners. You got to believe in yourself. Your scouting department. Everybody, upper management, everybody's because you're writing a blank check that somebody got to pay for it. And I get it. You want to do, roster construction the right way. But yeah, looking back at that one, man, I- the Giants' life cycle at that time as a roster, I probably would have did the same thing and let them walk. Because what are you doing with the Ferrari on your team if you're not going to go anywhere? The sucky part is he went to your NFC East rival and won a Super Bowl that's next season. That's the crazy part to me.
And this is the thing that kills me. I know we going way off topic, but that's the thing that kills me with like people thinking that the Titans should have re-signed Derrick Henry and the Giants should have re-signed Saquon. You think about it. If they re-sign them, either somebody's getting hurt or Saquon's doing the same thing that pretty much he was doing before he even got traded, and making he's creating shit, creating stuff for himself,
Yep.
basically. Versus you going over to the Eagles, they got one of the best offensive lines in the league. He don't have to do as much. It's not
Right.
it ain't too much wear and tear that he's doing.
Exactly. Running through tractor trailer holes and stuff. It's like, God, you know what I'm saying? Like going crazy. I mean, but yeah, man, I understand it. So yeah, but what I say, 2, 3 wins for the Giants, and I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, the Jets, a team who don't have a quarterback right now,
Man, they got a
at five
quarterback,
and a
Justin
half
Fields.
wins.
Yeah, Justin Fields, man.
Well, I mean, well,
Let me let
I
me let
forgot
me
all
let me
about.
let me.
I forgot
I'm
all
gonna
about.
do this right quick. I know people poo poo on Justin Fields, but that man can throw the ball, man. I know it's more than just throwing the ball in the league, man. But I feel like he can be their long term starter. I really do. He think he can be their long term starter. But yeah, the win total, you said 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5.
Aaron Glenn coming in, establishing the culture. Give me. I'll take the 5.5. I'll take the 5.5.
Yeah, defense still good. I'll take the 5.5 as well. Don't forget, your boy is probably coming for that money. You know who
You
I'm
know
talking
it.
about.
Yes. As he no, he will not see. We will not see it. He will not. I swear, if he get anything near Stingley, I will not be happy about it.
Sauce, Sauce. If Sauce have a great year
Soy
like that
sauce.
first year, I'm telling you, he's gonna get the bag.
Oh,
Moving
oh,
on.
okay. All right. Jets fans, comment down below if you run across this. Was Sauce Gardner get a bag like Derek Stingley? I want to know. I want to hear from you guys.
If he has a productive year. If he has a productive year. If he has a year like he had that last year, he's not getting that. But that's a topic for another day that we gotta go through.
Yeah, we'll
The
pin that one
Titans,
right now.
yeah, the Titans sitting at 5.5.
If Will Levis their quarterback, yeah, give me the under. If Will Levis their quarterback, Cam. Now we know Cam Ward's going there. Learning curve. Yeah, I take the under. I'll take the under 5.5. Just getting acclimated to the league. Callahan, getting his system in. So it'll be some growing pains for Cam Ward. So give me the under. I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'll take the under as well. They that team is lets go some guys. I mean, they still have some guys, but not enough to go over 5.5, in my opinion, your opinion as well. The next 7.5, you got the Patriots. What do you think about the Patriots at seven and a
Uh,
half?
Mike Vrabel coming in, a culture builder. I'll take that 7. I like that 7. That's a decent number.
Okay, I feel the same way. New coach, you got your quarterback of the future. You got to do is keep adding some guys, and I mean, we'll see what happens with that. The Falcons also at 7.5. I'm going to
Tennessee.
say
Go ahead.
at 7.5. I'm going to say for the Falcons. I'm going to say right at 7. I'm going to say under.
You said under?
I just don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, man. It's curious, man. I go to under as well. And I'm gonna tap in with some of my boys. They're big Falcons fans that I talk to on a regular basis. See how they feel about it. But I think the 7. I can see them 6 wins. Raheem Morris, he never get a fair shake. What would he do? He's a great coach. I don't know why people just he's
I don't
not
know. Some of
everybody's.
his decision making, man,
Yeah, yeah, I understand that, man. But he's a great teacher, man. But
and he is. He is. But you know the NFL is a business too.
oh, 100
You know.
percent,
So
100%.
but I feel like with that team who only got what the Falcons only got what 4 picks.
Four picks. Yeah,
Like, bro, a position that they have struggled over the years is pass rush.
bro. They haven't had a pass rusher since. Whew, I had to go do some. I gotta go do some research. That's how bad it's been. Who was Mathis? Maybe I don't know. Like I have no clue. Was the white friend in Atlanta at the tail end? I could be
He's,
wrong.
he might have been there for a season. I know he might have been there for like a season or two. I'm
A
not
cup
sure.
of coffee
I,
or something. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's been a
Um,
minute, bro.
but yeah, they haven't had even trading for Matthew Judon, who was known for having double digit sacks. Like even he couldn't make a difference over there. So I'm gonna say under 7.5 wins. We skipped one, and that was 6.5 wins. And you got the Carolina Panthers. What do you think about the Carolina Panthers at 6.5?
I think that's perfect for them. I think the 6.5 is perfect. They Bryce is second half of last season is the guy that I thought I would see in
Very
2023.
improved.
That's the Bryce that I saw at Alabama that people wanted to give up on. Because of his height, he can't see over the line, yada yada yada. But like I said, I know we going off the win total now, but what you see in college is normally what translates to the NFL. So I mean, so I say 6.5 is perfect. They keep building. They got picks. They can go defense, offense, first round. I mean, offense, give him some help. Give him Ted McMillan, trade back, give him Matthew Golden, give him some more weapons. He got an old boy Xavier Legette out there. He's going to be decent. Adam Thielen, he's getting up there too. So you're going to have to, exude some youth in that wide receiver room. So I can definitely see them right at 6. It keep stacking, keep pounding, as they would say in Carolina. Um, Keep pounding and just keep stacking his roster up and supporting Bryce Young. So 6 wins is ideal for me and my belief.
They got that kid Coker too. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
He's pretty good.
yes.
What about the Colts at six? Also at 6.5 wins.
Give me the under. You know who playing quarterback. You know who the room. You know who in the room. Just give me the under. I'm taking the under. I'm smashing it all day long. Give me the under.
Come on, man. So no faith in Shane Steichen developing Anthony Richardson.
No, no. I'm out. I'm not out on Richardson. I'm out on Steichen. And the reason why I'm out on Steichen is because yes, we know A. Rich had the little head tap thing. We know that that's not acceptable. As a pro, whatever. But you ain't making this. I mean, you know, you want to call it putting pressure on him by signing Daniel Jones. So you're really telling me that you're going to go into the season with Daniel Jones as your starter this year? If Anthony Richardson don't, live up to your expectations and improve in camp, give me. I take the under all day long.
Hey, I'm right there with you. What about the Jaguars? Also at 6.5.
Look, man, let me tell you something, man. 6.5. My boy, a Jaguars fan, and if he watches, I hate to break his heart, man, but I'm gonna take the under, man. I just year one in Liam Cohen's system coming from Tampa Bay, which is Cohen is he's very creative. I just I just have yet to see it with Trevor. He's been labeled the golden boy coming out of Clemson, it was rightfully so. Everybody understood. He was that guy coming out. I don't know, man. Some about some franchises they're just cursed and you just can't get out their own way, man. So I just see the under with Jaguars. You got CJ in that division too. So I mean, it's his until somebody else say something different.
I'm thinking over 6.5. With Liam Cohen coming in, Mr. Duval.
Dude,
I need
but
to
that
say
was that
that.
that was a wow. That was crazy right there. And it was like awkward silence too. Right after that, I was like, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do to man to get acclimated with the city, bro. So
Yeah, and with Brian Thomas, and what he did last year, I mean, you got a potential chance to bring another guy in there, and add to that receiving room. I'm not saying playoffs or anything like that, but I mean, I will say over 6.5 wins. I will say that.
Yeah.
Just kind of speed through some of these. At 8.5, you got the Cardinals. I'm going to say over. I got
Ooh,
big
that's spicy.
expectations. I got big expectations for the Cardinals this year.
Man, I'm right there, 7, 8 in that division. NFC West, San Francisco. They're going to be San Francisco until the wheels fall off. Seattle. They're going to fight. Um, I'm blanking on the other team right now, but I say about six,
Oh, the
six, seven.
Rams.
Win. The Rams, yes, the well-coached Rams team with McVay and Stafford. Stafford is probably the best quarterback in that conference. One, if not one of the best. I'm not gonna say he's the best. That's debatable. But it's Cal is decent. But how far can Cal take you? So I'm gonna say right at you said 8. This was an 8.
8.5.
Yeah, I say
Yeah,
7. I say 7.
7. Okay. The Bears.
I'm gonna
That's
take
another.
what's
It's another team that I feel like I got good expectations for, and I don't know if it's just like the Ben Johnson effect, but I feel like he can come in and work wonders with Caleb Williams, especially with the weapons that he has over there already. I think I don't know who that defensive coordinator is right now, but I got a good feeling that that team is about to be really improved. Uh, I say over 8.5. They get it done this
ooh
year.
oh you said over 8. Ooh, I'm
Over
right there
8.
at over 8. That's a spicy take. I can see it. I'm gonna be right there at the 8. And the reason why I say 8 and I'm solid with the 8 is because yes, they have the weapons. They have, of course, you got Caleb. You got Roshan Johnson. You got DeAndre Swift. You got Cole Kmet. You got Rome. Ben Johnson being a play caller, but what he did in Detroit was impressive. But I think this is what me and you kind of like separate. Go our different ways with Ben Johnson. It's a yes, you're a play caller in Detroit. You're only responsible for one side of the ball. Being the CEO of the whole team, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And I
Oh yeah.
just I just feel like he this year probably be an acclimation year. There will be some progress. I see about 8 wins. It depends on what everybody has expectations for Ben Johnson because what he did with Detroit with Jameson and St. Brown and those cast of characters. It's just he's trying to create that, and I think he's going to need probably one more year to uh to get to that level.
Okay. What about the Dolphins? Also at 8.5.
Um, Under is Tyreek gonna be there? Is Jalen Ramsey gonna be there? Your left tackle retired. Is
Mm.
Tua gonna stay healthy? Can you depend on Tua for 16 games? Is A Chain? Is he your bell cow? You pay Jalen Waddle like a number one. Is he a number two?
Mm.
Like so much, man. Like Javon Holland, he's with the Giants now. So it's just too many questions, with the Dolphins. Is the year 3 or year 4 of the Mike McDaniel's experiment? Has it
I
gone
think it's
stale?
what is it? Year 3?
Year 3?
Going into year
Year
4.
4?
I'd say. But either way, I like what you said about Teron Armstead just retiring. That could have some kind of effect on Tyreek Hill. Kind of pushing his way out of there. I'm going to say under 8.5. I just feel like it was just a failed experiment with this team. I expected a lot from them. I mean, they got one playoff berth out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Tyreek Hill as a draft day trade candidate
I say Jalen
as
Ramsey as
well.
well. I say Ramsey as well. I can see both of those
Yeah.
guys being on the move come draft night or either after the draft. I definitely say it. So the 8.5, I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna say about 6, just because you just don't know the health with Tua. So you just don't know what you're gonna. And they're a sleeper team to take a quarterback a lot earlier than people think because I know they have outs in his contract to where they can move on if needed to be. So that's just something to think about. A little nugget for another show.
And I feel like that's a very smart move too, because like you said, dealing with all the concussions that he's been going through, taking a quarterback, even if it's in the later rounds, like get some development in. I don't think that's a bad choice.
Absolutely.
Um, Minnesota 8.5.
That's about right to me. Because I say 8.5 is legit. Is JJ your answer? Is JJ that guy? You know, is he that guy? Coming
And
off,
we only see sample size
yes, man. Yeah, I know,
in the
man. But
preseason.
naturally coming down, they were a 13, 14 win team next year. Automatically, Sam Darnold not being there, they're going to take a step back in wins. So I can see 8 being a solid, solid number because they did add some dogs. They added,
Oh yeah, they had a
homeboy from the
very good
Commanders.
offseason.
Yeah, they had homeboy from the Commanders come over. The defensive tackle. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen. He
Yeah,
came over. You got Van Ginkel. You got what's the linebacker name? He was like an undrafted guy, or he was a late round guy. But he's I can't think. I'm blanking on his name right now. It'll come
I'm
back to me.
blanking on names
Yeah,
too.
he's a dog, man. You got Brian Flores with his exotic blitzes. So the defense is going to definitely win you some games for sure. They're going to get you 2, 3, 4 games. What can JJ do if JJ's your guy? What can he do to meet you halfway? So I say eight's a solid number.
Javon Hargrave also there as well. And then signing Isaiah Rogers, who's just coming off of a Super Bowl.
Oh, he was in Philly, right?
So yeah, he was in Philly.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, and then signing center Ryan Kelly. I feel like that's a position that they needed as well. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna say over 8 for the Vikings. I got a good feeling about JJ, even though we saw him in sample size with Kevin O'Connell there coaching. I just feel like what he could do for Sam Darnold, he can do way better for JJ McCarthy. So I
I
mean,
wouldn't. I'm not going to fight you on that. I'm not going to fight you. No pushback from me there.
Pittsburgh Steelers 8.5.
It's 12 the quarterback. Is he the quarterback?
Whether he is or whether he isn't, I mean, what we saw from 12 last year. I mean, it wasn't bad, going down the stretch, but
I
I don't
say
know. From Go ahead.
I say eight. Eight's a solid number. Mike Tomlin, and I'm only saying the eight because Mike Tomlin, off the strength of Mike Tomlin, he's never had a losing season, so I can see eight. Just off him alone, he gonna get you. He gonna get you to that win total for sure.
I can agree with 8. I'll stay right at 8. I do feel like Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat though.
Oh yes, absolutely,
That is getting
absolutely.
it's getting hot.
Yeah, I'm like it's to the point now where hey, if we got to justify 12 coming, or we got to take Shador at 21 here. If he slips to 21 to you know appease still I'm about to say still a nation with the terrible towels, whatever you want to call them. So, but yeah, I agree with you.
um, the Seahawks also at 8.5.
Under, under,
Even with the brand new quarterback they got the big contract.
under.
Under. I
Yep.
agree with you.
The
I
offensive,
agree.
they did nothing to address the offensive line so far in the offseason. Gino was like second or third in pressures last year. Everything that he threw was somebody standing in a gun barrel. They did nothing to address that. DK's not there. Um, yeah, man. I just feel like it's
Jackson.
Jackson Tyler Lock is gone. JSN is your wide receiver one right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just ain't enough.
Yeah, I agree. I would say under. I would say under as well. Moving into the 9.5.
Ooh, here we go.
No, actually, no. We got one more team in the 8.5. The Cowboys.
The who?
The Cowboys. Also at 8.5.
My boys gonna kill me for this one. They know they my dogs forever.
I'm gonna
I'm
say
gonna
over.
I'm gonna say over two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say 10. 10. I'll give him 10.
I give him right around at about 10. I think that I think with them being more active in free agency and doing things. I feel like they did some things that really improved their squad. So I'm going to say right around like 10. Either way over 8. Um, Going to the 9-win teams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Under.
Hmm.
I'm shooting the under. I just Liam Cohen's not there now. Not saying that the guy that they replaced him with can't get the job done, but when you have that rapport with certain individual, he go get a head job. They you know there's automatically going to be some setback, or you still got Baker, you still got Chris Godwin, you still got Mike Evans, you got Bucky Irvin, Cade Stover, um, your
Bucky
line
Irvin
for
is
the
dog, man.
he's nice. You got Tristan Wirfs to be your right tackle. So yeah, I can see them winning, 9, but I'm just gonna say under. It's because of new coordinators getting, working out the kinks, and gradually, the team is not where the team is not the same team from 2024. You know what I mean? So I can say under. I give him 8, 7, 8. Shoot, that might win the NFC South for real. So you never know. So
Hey, for the last couple years, that has been the number to win the NFC South. So
yep,
I definitely agree with you there. Houston Texans also at 9.
it, it's gonna hurt me, man. I'm gonna say under.
They made their strides as far as trading like the offensive lineman but like I don't think you put CJ in a better situation.
No, you don't. You
Tank
didn't
Dell,
put. He's not playing this year.
Tank
Tank
Dell,
Dale's not
and
playing.
you traded for Christian Kirk. Like,
Nico's been you know advertised as he's been with he's good. I just think like I said, you're redoing your offensive line. Tunsil's gone. Your first Kenyon Green, he's gone. So there's two of your starting five offensive linemen right there that are gone, and your line situation was already shaky from with them two on the line. So Joe Mixon's he's getting a little year older. He's not Cincinnati Joe Mixon again. Like you alluded to before, Tank Dell's not probably gonna play this year. Stephon Diggs, he's in New England now. Then you got my boy Stingley, he back there. The secondary is decent, man. It's just, are the Texans going to give CJ the adequate help to get to where I know he's capable of getting to?
got some. Okay, you good?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you was cutting out.
Oh, my bad.
Well, you can go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, long as the Texans give CJ Stroud the adequate, resources for offensive line, I think he'll be in a good spot. But I still take the under though, under 9,
Yeah, I'm gonna go under 9 myself. Green Bay Packers.
over,
I'm gonna
over.
say over as well.
Yeah, I just like they got my boy Jacobs over there. Jordan Love, he's ascending. Receiver core is they don't have a true alpha, but they have as a collection. They have you know you know Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo. I think Romeo Dobbs. I think his name is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
got
have the pieces. Just need a little more from the defense. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the over.
yeah, Dontavian Wicks, who will come through every now and again, and
Yeah,
who they got Tucker Craft and they got the other guy Malik Heath. So and the only thing I don't like about that whole receiving core is like I play fantasy,
right.
so you don't know which receiver to go because if you go cheaper route with Dontavian Wicks. Christian Watson could be catching 2 touchdown passes, and next, he's out for like the next 5 weeks. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't really know what you're getting out of it, but they do need that alpha dog. And then again, maybe they don't because I mean, for the last couple of years they've been winning like that. So um, the last team in the 9-win column, the, the Denver
Under,
Broncos.
under, 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 five, five. No, I'm gonna be realistic, man. I can see them staying at 9, 10. Wouldn't shock me. Uh, Only off the strength of Bo Nix having his second year in Sean Payton's system, getting them more weapons. Winning the close games that they lost last year. So I can see them at 10, but I'm gonna stay at 9 and be respectful for once about the Orange Crush.
So they won 10 last year. I'm going to say over 9, assuming that they'll get better on offense, and that's really like where they need to address like at least the first 3 picks in their draft. Go offense. Like this offense needs to be faster, quicker. Like receivers need to be in separation mode, and that's one area that's one receiver we didn't have other than like maybe Marvin Mims, but we didn't use him that much in offensive packages until like later on in the season. So, but they need that separator. Who that separator is right now, we'll get into that later. But I mean, I'm gonna say over 9 right now, assuming that they'll get better on. Sean Payton loves to get better on the offensive side of the ball each and every year. So we'll see what happens with that. At 10 wins, you got the Commanders. What you think?
I can see them staying there, staying at 10. I can see them hitting 12. Like I said, supporting cast this year has gotten better. You got Debo, Scary Terry. You get him, a veteran, like I said earlier in the show, Zach Ertz. You get another young piece in the middle to open up the middle of the field. Get another running back. I can see them improving from last year. I can see them, winning 10. I can see them winning 12 games. It's just how much you Jaden Daniels, how much he really wanted this year, and he can take that next step, which I think he believe. I think he will.
Oh yeah, I think with Debo coming over. I know Debo is not prone to be playing 17 games. He might not even play 15. But um, I feel like that's an upgrade from what you had, and then what you got the draft coming up. Who knows what you're going to be picking in there as well too. So great effort by the Commanders last season, getting to the NFC Championship game. I think it's only up from here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. Uh, the Rams over 10. I'm gonna say over 10.
Ooh, over. Ooh, that's it. I'm
They
gonna be right
draft
at
so
10. They do. They draft so well.
say what?
They draft so well. With Verse Fisk finding Puka wherever they found him at a couple years ago. You still got Matthew Stafford being Matthew Stafford. So with Devontae over there now. So I forgot all about Devontae. He's in he's in LA. He's in LA now. So yeah, I mean, now that we start thinking of it and putting this thing all together, I can see 10 wins. I give him 11.
And then with that defense, potentially getting better as well. Like you said, they draft so well, and then on top of drafting, they develop so well too. It's all about development. So I feel like the Rams are definitely prone to get over 10 wins. What about the Chargers?
Mm, Harbaugh steady Eddie. It's 10. I can see 10. I'm gonna stay at 10 with the Chargers just because Harbaugh, he's got Najee Harris and he gonna want to run the ball, control the
Oh,
clock.
oh,
Yes,
oh.
he gonna want to control the clock. He gonna 4 minute offense. You know what time it is. He ain't doing nothing crazy. I would like to see them to add another receiver. Beside Ladd, I know Quentin Johnson had a better showing last year. Um, Maybe they go out and get them a Judkins or Marion Hampton or something like that in the second round if he's there to put in the backfield. So yeah, I can see 10 wins, and just keep hitting the hammer with the nail, man. Just keep stacking.
When you said something about Quentin Johnson, you can see the potential there. It's just, when is it? When are you gonna take it over?
Right.
And with Ladd coming on and going for 1,000 yards last year, I mean, I think with the next thing that this team needs is more juice. Like same thing with the Broncos. Like I look at them and the Broncos the same in the
Right.
same category. Like this team, both teams need to be faster on offense in order to take that next step. You still got the pieces on defense with Derwin James and Khalil Mack still over there. We'll see what he gets you. Um, Dalen Henley, that dude is
Yes.
a dog, bro.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so I'm definitely gonna say right at 10 with the Chargers. What about the Lions?
10. I'm at 10. I'm at 10
I'm
with
gonna say
them. You say under?
I'm gonna say under.
Ooh, I'm curious to hear why you say why. I'm curious to hear this.
I just with losing both coordinators, I know that comes into effect. I mean, it's all depending on who the new guys, the new coordinators coming in, and what kind of relationship they're gonna have with them. But I feel with like both of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving, it's gonna take some toll on it. I'm not saying that they're not gonna be a playoff team, but sometimes that chemistry it plays a factor.
It matters.
It matters. And right at 9, I feel like is a good spot for them. But I could be wrong, but I feel like that's going to take a toll in it. But we'll see what happens. Uh, and then like they got to get better on the defensive side of the ball too. Especially you losing those 13 guys to IR. Like
Yes. That's brutal, man.
how you going to recover from that? Is Aiden Hutchinson going to come back and be the same player? That's something to look forward to. The Bengals. We just talked about this team earlier.
Under. Un- Until they figure it out on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Burrow. Burrow can get you. He can win you 9 games off by himself, man. But I think, like I said, man, it's too much, man. Like it's just, especially in that AFC North, man. It's just too much firepower. Too many teams that know you as divisional opponent. And the AFC in general, AFC in general is just so tough. I say about 9 wins. 9 wins would be what I think they'll end up having.
And even if they do go defense in their draft, like those are young guys that you still have to coach up. So the offense is still going to have so much of the load. Your
Yep.
defense still going to be giving up a whole lot of points. So um, I'm going to go under for the Bengals. The last team for the 10-win teams, and then we got 4 more teams left. The 49ers. I love to hear your take on this because I got a huge one.
Under.
Under 10?
Under 10.
I'm going under 10 too.
Going under. It's just for me with the 49ers, it's just you got your heart and soul is gone now. Debo, he's out the building. Brock Purdy, he's got a little pressure on him this year. He wanted to be in that $60 million. He want that bag, which I can't blame him. Um, you got CMC. Are you getting 17 games from him? Are you getting 13? You just don't know. Is he gonna have to go over to Germany again and get some other procedure done that don't nobody know nothing about that with his body. It's just so many factors. Greenlaw's gone. Fred Warner's a year older. Hufunga's in Denver with you guys now. Chavarius Ward, he's in Indy now. Um, yeah, man, it's just Trent Williams. Are you going to draft his replacement coming up? It's just so many variables, so many factors. Has San Francisco fan base, have they got tired of Kyle Shanahan? We run into the same buzzsaw every year. So are we, do we have fatigue there? So it's a whole lot you can play in. So with that being said, I'm gonna say under.
Yeah, I'm gonna say under as well, and I mean 100% agreeing with everything that you said. Um, you're losing guys like Greenlaw and Hufunga, and those are like the heartbeats of your team. Um, you got CMC who can't stay healthy. George Kittle's still there. What's my man, the linebacker? You just call his name. I'm
Fred
blanking on his
Warner.
name. Why am I Fred Warner? If you were the 49ers, wouldn't I know you're gonna have other teams on the other side that need to have they need to take on those contracts. Wouldn't it be smart to kind of like trade some of these guys to get some kind of compensation?
Put my GM hat on for a minute. Yes, it would be smart to trade some of these guys to get compensation. But then ultimately, what you're telling your fan base is, hey, we're resetting this thing. How we go from the Super Bowl two seasons ago to all of a sudden we're in a full blown not full blown rebuild, because you have, who's your number one corner right now? Don't nobody know who your number one corner is. Who I don't even know who their corners are right now. Dion Limito or something like that.
Yeah,
Um, and then you got Mustafa is the safety. He's decent, but you're telling your fan base that it's time for a reset, and no fan base wants to hear that. Once you've been to the mountaintop a couple times, and it's like, all right, here we go. We in for the long haul again. So, but that would be the smart play.
they are one of those teams that I look at like okay, they haven't won a Super Bowl since 94, 95 year. And that was the year before Dallas won their Super Bowl, their last Super Bowl. So
All right,
People give Dallas so much just flat about not winning the Super Bowl. Now I do understand that San Francisco has been there, but they have not won it.
all right.
And they go through all the year after year. They make all these strides to improve their roster and strengthen their team in season trade deadline trades, off season moves, and you don't win the big one. And this is why I love effing with 49er fans. Even like they're humble fans, but they talk their little ish too. But you have to remind them, y'all haven't won a Super Bowl just as long as the Dallas Cowboys.
But let me tell you why we don't never hop on the 49ers as much as we hop on the Cowboys. Jerry Jones. That's why we don't. And my boys, they when they see this, man, they'll be like, here he go again. But that's why the 49ers don't get as much scrutinized as the Cowboys do. Yes, we know 49ers been there but haven't won since the Cowboys did, back with 94, 95 year. But
Yeah,
they don't have an owner coming out in front of the camera, and you don't hear Jed York coming out in front of the camera and say, we're gonna be all in, but the only thing you do is sign a punter and a kicker, and you telling me that's all in? What are we doing? So that's the reason why we don't bash the 49er fans as much as we bash the Cowboy fans, in my humble opinion.
that's fair. That's fair. I dig that. I dig that. But still, in my opinion, it's like you guys just haven't done
All right.
it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, so the final four, we're gonna try to breeze through these. The final four at 11 wins right now. You got the Baltimore Ravens,
11 solid. 11. I'm cool with 11.
11 solid. I like it. The Buffalo Bills,
AFC East, the Patriots might be a little better. Dolphins going to be the Dolphins, and the Jets are rebuilding. So yes, I can see them hitting that 11 win mark.
the Kansas City Chiefs.
over. So I can see them hitting. I can see them actually hitting 13 because everybody's coming back. They're gonna be all in this year because they know the end of the road is near for number 87, and they're gonna try to that core of him, Chris Jones, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid. Bad as I hate to say it, Rome. The foundation has to come apart at some. They can't play forever. Kelsey can't play forever. Andy Reid can't coach forever. So I can see them just going, pedal to the metal, going ahead and making a statement saying, "Hey, we the Chiefs. Don't root against them when they play us. So we, beat them down pretty bad. But I can see them, winning, 13 games and then losing it to us twice. And I'm cool with that. But
um, here's the thing about the Chiefs. I feel like everything that you said, 100% factual. I feel like they are going to, that their time is catching up to them, and still with the moves that they made in free agency. When you have Orlando Brown? No,
yeah,
that's the Bengals. That's the Bengals. But I still I think who did they pick up? They picked this dude up from the 49ers, Jalen Moore, right?
Jalen Moore, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Him and I forgot who's on the other side. But
Can't remember.
I can't remember, man. Oh man. Um I still feel like that offensive line is gonna be struggling a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. They traded, Joe Thuney to the Chicago for a fourth round pick. So yeah, I mean the offensive line is going to struggle, but I do believe number 15, 87, 95. They're going to find a way to be there in the end every game.
Facts. Another thing that they're going to have to add to the draft, with this draft coming up, offensive line, and you're going to have somebody back there with Chris Jones too, because they looking a little thin back there as well.
Hmm.
Um, the Philadelphia Eagles
Super Bowl hangover. Will they be hungry? That's the question. Will you be hungry enough to want to do this thing again? I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say 10
under
wins.
11.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 10. I'm gonna say under. Only because the only reason why I say I'm under is because I got the Commanders winning 10. They got Dallas winning what, 10 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say 10 and take a step back. Have some of that hangover. Um, is Dallas Goddard gonna be on? I know, is he gonna be on the team? Um, week one. Um, Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, they're gonna be better. But naturally, your team, you always take a step back the year after you win the Super Bowl because you've been to the mountaintop. You still got the hangover. You're the hunted now. Everybody wants to give you their best game. Everybody that you play, and they play the AFC West this year, so that's gonna be fun. So you're gonna see that Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts matchup. You might see that week one, Thursday night. So you're the hunted now, and it's naturally you're gonna just fall back into a natural, like we said about Minnesota. You're gonna fall back. You're gonna lose some games that you normally win. You know what I'm saying? Like last year they had a nail biter versus the Commanders, I believe, and I think they ended up losing, winning that game. But we all know, the ball bounced this way or that way, and it's another loss. So I'm gonna say under for sure.
Two matchups going into that Thursday night opener against the Chiefs and against the Commanders. Two
Ooh,
candidates. I
ooh,
think
that
that'll
that
be two big games right there.
yeah, that Commanders one gonna be spicy. A rematch of the NFC Championship. Yeah, that could be spicy. But I can see that Chiefs one being spicy as well. Philly
Oh
getting that
yeah.
get back from
Oh
two
yeah.
Super Bowls ago, which I think they still should have won, but that's another whole conversation for another day. But
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say right now, I think the Eagles are gonna repeat the Super Bowl champions.
ooh,
So I'm gonna go over 11.
ooh.
I think that team ain't going nowhere. And you coming up this Wednesday, we'll probably not now. I can't do Wednesday. Maybe one day this um we'll talk about it off camera. We're gonna talk about the Eagles draft strategy, years of how like how brilliant they are, whether it's drafting, whether it's free agency, whether it's trading. Just we'll give how great Howie Roseman is during this time of the year, and just how good that Eagles team is. So that's one team we'll highlight on our next episode. Um, this has been great, man. We went through all 32 teams and then win totals. Um, I will be bringing back 32 teams in 32 days later on this summer. Um,
Yes.
it's something I did for like two years, and then for the past 2 years, I just haven't had enough time to do it. I think I'm going to bring it back this year. I got some wonderful candidates.
Yes.
This guy right here, he's going to be helping me out through the way. Mr. Washington, we got through another episode, man. Is there any final thoughts you got?
Yeah, man. I just, 2 episodes down. Plenty more is in store. We got so many ideas lined up that we probably even thought about yet. I just like to, thank everybody for supporting us, getting us some, good words of encouragement. And hey, man, we're going to put out a good product that people can appreciate. We know everybody, on that, ride to work wants something to listen to. If you're a ball player or you're a sports critic, you're just, we're going to be, fun, entertaining, and, you know, if you agree with us with some of the things we said, let us know. If you hate some of the things we said, hey man, let us know, man. We're open to everything. Constant dialogue, constant conversation with you guys. And yeah, man, just stay tuned, man. We got so much on the way. And yeah, man, we ready. We ready. We locked and loaded, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been wonderful. Two episodes down, got more to go. Can't wait to the next episode. We'll get off camera. We'll put our brains together and give the people much more. We went on for an hour and 31 minutes, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I'm gonna get you on up out of here for Amon Washington. This is Larry Patterson. Until then, everybody.
Peace.